not art-wise.
What's next on the program?
There's talk of puppets.
The puppets, united. Never be divided. The puppets.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Hello.
Of all genders.
Ladies and gentlemen of all genders.
And let me tell you a story. A story of deception and manipulation. A story of power and greed. A story of money and politics. This drawing is inaccurate.
Yeah, we're not puppets.
Well, at least I'm not a puppet. Gentlemen, please. You're being very rude. Just listen to the story. Today, we're going to talk about Monsanto.
Fuck Monsanto! Fuck Monsanto!
We're going to be saying Monsanto a lot. So we can't chant every time. But fuck Monsanto!
Fuck Monsanto!
In the 2012 elections.
And we can boo. Boo every time we say Monsanto.
Continuing with the story, in the 2012 elections, Monsanto spent nearly $6 million in lobbying and over $500,000 in campaign contributions. Also, when California voted on Proposition 37, a law that would have required the labeling of GMOs or genetically modified organisms, Monsanto spent over $7 million on the No on 37 campaign. And guess what? The bill didn't pass. But wait, it doesn't end there. Money isn't the only way corporations have power in government.
Many individuals who have held top positions in Monsanto have also held top positions in government agencies, such as the Food and Drug Administration, the Environmental Protection Agency, the Supreme Court, and even the CIA and FBI. Indeed, there is a revolving door between our government and Monsanto. For example, Republican Linda Fisher started in government as an assistant administrator at the EPA. She was then hired as vice president of government affairs at Monsanto. From 1995 to 2000. Then she became the deputy administrator at the EPA in 2001.
Ooh, for EPA.
After Democratic Senator Dennis Cocchini left the government, he then started a law firm and served as legal counsel for Monsanto. Conservative Justice Clarence Thomas was an attorney for Monsanto in the 1970s. Sometimes the revolving door goes around and around and around. Michael Taylor was an assistant to the Food and Drug Administration Commissioner before leaving government to work at a law firm that represented Monsanto. He then returned to government as the Deputy Commissioner for Policy to the FDA on food. Then he moved to the USDA, where he's administrator for the Food and Safety Inspection Service. He then returned to Monsanto as Vice President of Public Policy. But wait, then he once again returned to government as Senior Advisor to the FDA Commissioner. Now, he's the Deputy Commissioner for Food at the FDA. Dozens and dozens of others have also been a part of this revolving door, going from government to corporation and back again. So, what are the results of this special relationship? Well,
As it stands, we have the fox guarding the hen house. The companies that need to be regulated are the the ones controlling the regulations and their enforcement. 1. Courts have given corporations the right to copyright the DNA of GMOs. Living organisms are now patentable. This has led to Monsanto filing lawsuits against hundreds of farmers for patent infringement just because their fields were contaminated by GMO pollen in the wind. That's fucked up. 2. Congress snuck the Monsanto Protection Act.
Fuck Obama!
That's true. This law strips the federal courts of the right to halt the sale and planting of GMO crops. 3. Huge agribusiness corporations write farm regulations that push small farms out of business. And 4. All of the GMO crops that Monsanto has brought to the USDA, all of them have been approved, even though other countries have banned these products. No surprise there. Who wants to upset their future boss?
But look! That fox looks so trustworthy!
I know, that fox looks so cute!
I mean,
That
how
fox-
bad could it be?
Well, let's take a look and see what we get. For one, we don't know what's in our food. Almost every processed food you can find includes some GMOs, genetically modified ingredients. But in the US, we have no labels to let us know that. 2, we get increased herbicide and pesticide use, thanks to GMO crops that are custom made to survive being drenched in poisons. And 3, what do farmers, especially small farmers, get? Well, they get sued and forced out of business by Monsanto. So, what do we do? What can we do?
Monsanto! Fuck Monsanto!
Well, we can find alternatives and opt out of Monsanto's foodopoly. You can start with your local farmers market. In fact, there's a great farmers market in Union Square that happens on Wednesdays and other ones around the city.
Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday.
Awesome. Hopefully every day of the week soon. There are also other green markets, food co-ops, and community-supported agriculture all over New York City. There are also apps for your smartphone, such as Boycott, that will tell you if any given item in the grocery store contains GMOs. And we're going to teach you a quick song to also fight Monsanto. Mic check.
Mic check.
Oh, when food is free.
When food is free.
Of GMOs.
Of GMOs.
When food is free of GMOs. Oh, I want to be a cucumber. When food is free of GMOs. Everybody, one more time. When food is free of GMOs. When food is free of GMOs. Oh, I want to be a cucumber. When food is free of GMOs. When Monsanto closes its doors. When Monsanto closes its doors. How I want to eat a cucumber. When Monsanto closes its doors. When food is free of pesticides. Food is free of pesticides. How I want to eat a cucumber. When food is free of pesticides.
Fuck Monsanto! Who's pork?
I am problematic!
I am I am Bradley Manning.
As always, they say, if you see something, say something. He saw a crime and he's in jail. So if you see something,
I am Bradley Manning.
I'm starting to say something.
I am Bradley Manning.
I am Bradley Manning.
We are Bradley Manning.
We are Bradley Manning. All right, so we wanted to acknowledge the fact that Bradley Manning.
Bradley Manning!
Mic check.
Mic check.
We wanted to acknowledge.
We wanted to acknowledge
The fact that Bradley Manning.
the fact that Bradley Manning,
His trial is starting on Monday.
whose trial is starting on Monday,
And many of our comrades.
and many of our comrades
Are at Fort Meade today.
are at Fort Meade today
To support him.
to support him
And the heroic actions that he took.
and the heroic actions that he took
To make sure that we had the right to know.
to make sure that we have right to know
What was being done in our name.
what was being done in our name.
So I'm going to read a short portion of his statement
So I'm going to be the short version of his statement
that he wrote
that he wrote
while he was in a detention facility,
While he was in a detention facility,
where he's still being held,
where he's still being held,
in spite of the fact that his trial hasn't even started yet.
in spite of the fact that his trial hasn't even started yet.
I wrote this statement in the confinement facility.
I wrote this statement in the confinement facility.
I enlisted with the hope
I enlisted with the hope
of obtaining both real-world experience
of obtaining both real-world experience
and earning benefits under the GI Bill for college opportunities.
and earning benefits under the GI Bill for college opportunities.
I believe and still believe
I believe and still believe
that the Iraq and Afghanistan war logs are two of the most significant documents of our time.
that the Iraq and Afghanistan war logs are the two most
significant documents of our time.
I felt that we were risking so much for people
I felt that we were risking so much for people
that seemed unwilling to cooperate with us,
that seemed unwilling to cooperate with us,
leading to frustration and anger on both sides.
Leading to frustration and anger on both sides.
I began to become depressed
I began to become depressed
with the situation that we found ourselves increasingly mired in
with the situation that we found ourselves increasingly mired in
year after year.
year after year.
I believe
I believe
that if the general public,
that if the general public,
especially the American public,
especially the American public,
had access to the information,
had access to the information,
this could spark a domestic debate
This would spark a domestic debate
on the role of the military
on the role of the military
and our foreign policy in general
and our foreign policy in general
as it related to Iraq and Afghanistan.
as it related to Iraq and Afghanistan.
I wanted the American public to know
I wanted the American public to know
that not everyone in Iraq and Afghanistan
that not everyone in Iraq and Afghanistan
are targets that need to be neutralized,
are targets that need to be neutralized,
but rather people
or rather people
who are struggling to live
who are struggling to live
in the pressure cooker environment
Pressure cooker environment.
of what we call asymmetric warfare.
of what we call asymmetric warfare.
No one associated with the WikiLeaks organization
No one associated with the WikiLeaks organization
pressured me into giving information.
pressured me into giving information.
The decisions that I made
The
decisions that I made
to send documents and information
to send documents and information
to the WikiLeaks organization
to the WikiLeaks organization
were my own decisions,
were my own decisions.
and I take full responsibility for my actions.
And I take full responsibility for my actions.
Manning's statement continues from there, and I encourage you all to read it.
Manning's statement continues from there, and I encourage you all to read it.
Thank you, and free Bradley Manning.
Free Bradley Manning!
check.
So I guess we have the mic check.
So we wanted to open it up.
We wanted to open it up.
If anyone else wants to perform.
If anyone else wants to perform.
If you have a song, or if you have a song, or puppets, or anything, to perform, then this is your time.
This is your time.
This is the people's stage.
This is the people's stage.
After the people's stage, we're gonna open it up. To talk about all the amazing movements. That are kicking off actions today. From Turkey. To Germany. To here in New York City. Because all of our struggles are connected. Okay, so does anyone else have something to perform? You have something to perform?
I need to speak about Egypt.
You want to speak about Egypt?
Yeah. Let's go.
So I guess no one wants to perform.
So I guess nobody wants to perform.
So now we're going to hear a little bit. About different struggles that are going on. From Egypt. And from Turkey.
Thank you. Of course. I just want to say a few words about Egypt. After January 25 revolution. It was very significant. And very unique in Egyptian history. Muslim Brotherhood took over the power. Under American supervision. And by the aid of Recep Tayyip Erdogan. Turkey government. That is doing this horrible actions right now. Egyptian youth realized early that their revolution was stolen. So they started to organize. And they promised the masses that revolution will continue until we achieve a real democratic system. Your struggle is our struggle in Egypt. I urge everybody here to learn more about what is going on in Egypt right now. Show your support to people in the streets. On June 3rd, we're gonna have big demonstration in front of United Nations at 2 o'clock. I want everyone who can attend to come and show solidarity to Egyptian in diaspora who are fighting for their rights and to continue the Egyptian revolution. There are young, genuine activists were killed last few months. 17, 18, 19, 20 years. Those are the guys who sparked this revolution. And
Security! Who the fuck is that? Who the fuck is that? Who the fuck is that? Mike Jack! Who the fuck is that?
Action, help your fucking comrade. Assholes!
Do not leave. Come back.
Say it again because I think people got it wrong.
So we have this demo on June 30 in front of United Nations at 2 o'clock. And we believe that your struggle here is exactly our struggle. Finally, I want to say If we are united.
If we are united.
We'll never be defeated.
We'll never be defeated.
What time is that?
2 o'clock.
This is on democracy.
Who wanted to speak?
I don't know if they're in the crowd.
I don't know if they're in the crowd.
Want to come up. Or if someone else wants to come up. And
If someone else wants to come up.
Everybody grab a sign.
I said to God, give me a sign.
My church.
Assembly. Please come in. Sit down.
Sit down.
And if anyone wants to speak. About global struggles.
About global struggles.
Like Egypt.
Like Egypt.
Turkey.
Like Turkey.
Like the European Central Bank occupation.
Like the European Central Bank occupation.
Like what's happening in London right now.
What's happening in London right now.
Come up.
Please come up.
And speak about it.
And speak about it.
So we can share our experiences.
So we can share our experiences.
I got a couple things.
I got a couple
things.
to talk about. I mean, one, I'm like, with all love for everybody here, I'm a little annoyed with the emphasis on being entertained. I mean, puppet shows and dancing and praying is all nice.
Puppet shows and dancing and praying is all nice.
But I think we lost a lot of people based on lack of interest of things that are extremely serious that are really going on, in which people are actually dying. People are being assaulted, and I mean, if you want to be entertained, that's nice. But I was personally annoyed, and I felt other people were, I heard people were personally annoyed. We could be entertained after we have like good discussions on things. I think people want to let their voices be heard. It's kind of the only thing I really want to say and critique. Beyond that, I do have a lot to speak on. I have a Mexican descent, and I guess for those who don't know, Mexico is in a very critical state right now, where the Mexican populace in southern Mexico, south of Mexico City, and Guerrero, and Oaxaca, and I mean pretty much all over the south is taking arms against their government. I don't know how many have actually heard about this, but if you haven't, I would suggest you really look into it. It's very interesting, especially since it's following the model of a very non-horizontal form for the most, very non-hierarchical form for the most part. Very community-based. You know, very new compared to what we're usually seeing, which is usually like Stalinist, Trotskyist regimes, things along those nature. This is a very fresh, but it's also very interesting because you see dynamics of power struggles. Guerrero, they formed community police where they're actually taking over the police. In places like Charan, they have arrested the police. Even actually killed police who disrespected the indigenous communities in the area. I don't have much to say beyond that. It's just kind of like a quick announcement, really, when it comes to international struggles. Check out southern Mexico, the night of like people standing up against corrupt governments and insane fucking like drug cartels, fucking capitalism at its fucking purest and shit, like, fuck all that.
Monsanto. Is anyone else here?
Is anyone else here?
Who wants to speak about global struggles?
Who wants to speak about global struggles?
Turkey.
Turkey, yeah.
Let's talk about Sandy.
Yeah. I don't need the people's mic. I'm just gonna say, is there anybody here who wants to express their political dissent through art? Maybe you want to come up here and express it through dance or through your frustration. You want to talk about it, whatever.
There's an announcement.
Okay. So, all right. So we're here today. On this global day of action, right? And we want to find our commonalities and share our experiences. We can build a global movement. So if anyone wants to speak on that topic, please come to the
It's out of topic. We have an announcement here. Okay, we have an announcement here. It's out of the topic, but...
Sorry. Hi, mic check.
Mic check.
Who are you? I'm Drew.
Who are you?
Hi, Drew.
Hi, Drew.
There's people on Wall Street, and Williams, and they're about to play Capture the Flag. And it might be a good recruiting activity for these radicals playing games on Wall Street. So I'm going to go over there.
Bye, Drew.
Bye.
I'm Gina. I'm Gina.
And
Well, I mean, you're playing games. That's good.
Hey, thanks. People like this more and more.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's just like they're not protest people, but they're taking space. It's like totally nice.
Hey, so nice.
The Department of Education has chosen to bring each other school to a center that's very successful. Regardless of the fact that every program that exists is very helpful to the community and needed.
Regardless of the fact that every program exists is helpful to the community is needed.
You guys, us guys, we need you guys to do something, to stop this. Because the people in school, take it as given. They don't have any hope. That's something that already has been decided. I have information on the center here. Anybody wants to read? The help is greatly needed. The help is greatly needed. Thank you. Are there any other announcements?
Mic check. Mic check. Mic check. Mic check. My name's Justin. I'm from Occupy Sandy. Since Superstorm Sandy hit, a large portion of our community, all volunteers, have been dedicating themselves to the long-term recovery of the affected neighborhoods in New York. More recently, the same group of people have been mobilized to help out in Oklahoma. If you're looking to participate in Occupy or Occupy Sandy, please go online and Google us. There are many ways and many areas that you can help in. I look forward to seeing you on Staten Island. Where me and a group of about 20 occupiers are standing with the neighbors of Midland Beach as they face the tragedy of the storm itself and now dealing with the system. Please help. Thank you.
Does anyone else? Have
Hanging out with you people for a while now.
I love you all. I wanted to say something about entertainment with all due respect to my Mexican friend there.
I wanted to say that to my Mexican friend.
My parents are Estonians. And if you know anything about Estonia, you go back to where the Nazis overran the country and the Soviets overran the country.
The Soviets overran the country.
Estonians were scattered throughout the world, including in death camps and in gulags in Siberia. Now, the thing was how Estonia won its independence was a singing revolution.
A singing revolution?
And that's all I want to say, people. God bless you.
God bless you.
Stay with it.
You know a song?
Yeah.
See me after the show.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
Hi, everybody. I don't know if you remember me. My name's Joseph.
My name is Joseph.
Like, what's going on here is good.
What's going on here is good.
You know, but the thing is that we want to get our point across. Kick us out the park. But they can't lie about something that really happened.
They can't lie about something that really happened.
One person can say he never showed up.
One person can say he never showed up.
But everybody can't say they weren't there.
Everybody can't say they weren't there.
Mischievous grin.
Mischievous grin.
Means mischievous thought.
Which means mischievous thought.
Which means I have a plan.
Which means I have a plan.
A fun plan.
A fun plan.
You want to know how to stop?
You want to know how to stop
people? Stock exchange?
Stock exchange.
You have to know. Walt Disney. Van Cortlandt. The Stuyvesant. The Vanderbilt. The Rothschild. The Bloomberg. Giuliani. Obamas. The Reagans. Bushes. Twinkles. Find out where they live. All across the country. In groups of like 10,000 people. Same thing you're doing at this park? Do at their house. I guarantee you, if you woke up at 2 a.m. and heard 10,000 people singing and dancing in front of your house, the first thing you do is go like this. What the hell?
First thing you do is go like this. What the hell?
Say, who the hell are all you people?
Say, who the hell are all you people?
And you'd spot a red sign and go, oh.
You'd spot a red sign and go, oh.
This guy's an anarchist.
This guy's an anarchist.
This guy's a communist.
This guy's a communist.
This guy's a drummer.
This guy's a drummer.
And I can tell by the way this guy's looking at me, he doesn't like me.
I can tell by the way this guy's looking at me, he doesn't like me.
He has a lot of friends with him.
He has a lot of friends with him.
Don't let them control the crowd.
Don't let them control the crowd.
Let's listen to this section of the crowd.
Let's listen to this section of the crowd.
So the people on this side bang their drums. They're like, we don't like them. They're out of the neighborhood. And the people on this side go, you don't want to deal with them. You might want to listen to us. You give them the polar. You have to polarize people. You see? Because it's okay to be loved. It's okay. Maybe some people think to be feared. But to be effective, you have to make people doubt themselves. You see? You don't have to be Mike Tyson out front to be Muhammad Ali. You can't hit me. They're going to stop coming in. They're going to give up. You have to take away their will. It's called stopping power. It's like a punch to the sternum. They can only go on for so long without any gas. It's like an oil-less car. So you do a lot of occupiers around the country. Find out where Obama's aide lives and stand around his house 24 hours a day, barbecuing, cooking out, camping, singing, banging. Am I too from you here? Banging pots and pans, chanting as loud as you can. Make sure CNN is there. And have one of those Titantron and have a list of all the things he's done. And say we vote no confidence. And then tell everybody to stop voting. One man is arguing and one man is walking away who looks guilty. Thank you.
Thank you.
My number is 917-504-2796. If you agree, call me.
Okay, mic check.
Mic check.
There's a young lady over here that works very hard for the success of this movement. Today is her birthday.
Today is her birthday.
We should all sing happy birthday to Julie, the silk screener. Happy birthday, Julie, the silk screener. Birthday. Happy birthday, Julie.
Sing your song.
Shirt. She made my shirt. Here. She made shirt?
No speaking.
What? Yeah.
Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
As far as I'm concerned, the commonality of our problem, is the violence that we're submitted to. That's the most common thing for all of us. That is our problem. Violence is eating us alive. The violence outside. And the violence inside. We have to do something about it. We cannot stand around looking at each other's differences. We have to find a way within. Everything comes from within. We are the human being. The human being rules the world. Not Wall Street. Not the church. Not God. Not nature. The human being. As human beings. We have to take care of our world. Let's get going. Let's stop the crap. Let's not pay attention to secondary stuff. I love you. I'm sorry.
Fuck Monsanto!
Mic check. I'm Elena from Sunset Park, Brooklyn. Where Occupy is alive and well. For the past year, we've been supporting a group of tenants. Who live in 3 buildings in our neighborhood. In terrible, inhumane conditions. They were on rent strike for almost 2 years. Now the buildings are in receivership. And some improvements have been won. But there are still 684 outstanding violations in the building.
Monday at 10 a.m.
there will be a rally and press conference in front of the building.
There will be a rally and press conference in front of the building.
At 553 46th Street.
At 553 46th Street.
Between 5th and 6th Avenue.
Between 5th and 6th Avenue.
In Brooklyn.
In Brooklyn.
Please support the tenants.
Please support the tenants.
Their struggle is Occupy struggle.
Their struggle is Occupy struggle.
Mic check.
Mic check.
This is a communique.
This is a communique
from Istanbul.
from Istanbul.
In Istanbul.
In Istanbul.
We took over Taksim Square.
We took over Taksim Square.
Today, after a wild day of being sprayed.
Today, after a wild day of being sprayed.
The police retreated.
The police retreated.
There was a tense flow. Since protesters are still being sprayed in other neighborhoods in Istanbul. The Prime Minister declared that he will not back down. On his plans for the transformation of everything under the sun. Into malls and upper class residences. The president called for calm. He criticized police violence. But Erdogan must be turning really psychotic. Since he keeps saying we're a bunch of provocateurs. And using a nauseatingly demagogic discourse. The protesters, he says, are preparing the ground for a new coup d'etat. Against this very civilian democratic government. Indeed, the number of Turkish flags at the Gezi Park this evening was disgustingly high. This is a curious coalition. The Kemalist nationalist freaks of yesterday are now occupying the same park as the Kurds. The left, the anarchists, the LGBT group. I'm not too sure of this, but I think football fans were instrumental in the victory over Gezi. We have 3 Istanbul teams. The supporters of which were out. Fighting the police like lions. They're in their stadium. I call them hooligans. But I have to admit. They know how to fight. They aren't afraid. How all this was combined into a meaningful statement against the government. It's still very uncertain. So things are all very ambiguous. And in any case, the fighting hasn't ceased elsewhere than in Taksim. This is not a protest to save trees. The government has gone too far.
Well, I mean, not the
Gezi
part one, they said it's
Park was the last straw.
We've had to bear several other things in the past few months.
Well, I'm leaving tomorrow. No, first Saturday. But I will
In short, I feel this is the beginning of the end of an era. We need to bring down this government. But what will in its place?
Take care, okay? Great to see you. I love you too. Say bye.
You have a burning desire to say something to the crowd. Please step up. It's the People's Assembly.
Someone talk about Gary.
Let's talk about budgeting.
I want to talk.
I have a question. May I?
Yes, please.
All right, so this is my question to you guys, and I don't have the answers. That's why I'm putting it out there. And I'm from Yonkers, New York, and I don't find myself surrounded by like-minded people, so that's why I'm putting it out here. Sorry, hi. Hi. So with the whole Boston Marathon riot, massacre, call it what you want by the mainstream media. Was anybody else concerned about the tanks going down residential streets? Was anybody else concerned that it looks like a military state? Was anybody else concerned that Americans were okay with this? Because people in my circle said we needed to be protected, and said to me, what about your daughter? Would you let your daughter play outside? And my response is, I'm not a fucking idiot. I wouldn't send my daughter outside if it was dangerous. However, I am concerned when people, when the police come to my door with a fucking rifle in my face and tell me to get out. Sorry for the language. So anyway, I don't have an opinion. I don't have an opinion on whether it was a false flag, whether it happened. That's not what I'm about. But what about the reaction of the police to the event? Does anybody have thoughts about it? I'm curious. Anybody?
You just said all my thoughts about it. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. I mean, I don't.
I'll say something.
Please.
It seems to me, first of all, I think that Boston was contrived and what they call a false flag. I don't know what happened there, but it was a suspension of civil liberties. I am concerned that the Obama administration is on the same page as the Bush administration. There is NDAA, there is Monsanto laws, there is AP harassment. Eric Holder is a cocksucker. This whole thing is falling apart, and people have to be aware that the Democrats and the Republicans do all this shit as a distraction. This is all distraction, and it works. And people talk about all this shit as if it's important. It's distraction. You have to take control of your lives. People march down the street saying, fuck Monsanto, petitioning the government to do something. What are you talking? You do it yourselves. You take actions yourselves. You stop buying the crap that will poison you, and you buy healthy foods, and it's up to you to do it. You don't petition the Lord for prayer. Thank you.
Yeah! Fuck Monsanto!
Fuck Monsanto!
Hell no GMO!
Hell no GMO!
Hell no GMO!
Hell no GMO!
Hell no GMO! Fuck Monsanto!
Fuck Monsanto!
Can I speak for a second? I just... Oh, I don't know how to do that. I feel silly now.
Hi everyone.
Hello, everyone.
I'm originally from Istanbul, but I live in New York City.
Originally from Istanbul, but I live in New York City.
So I represent Occupy.
I represent Occupy.
I represent Occupy Wall Street to Istanbul.
I represent Occupy Wall Street to Istanbul.
And I represent Occupy Istanbul to, here. So first of all, I just want to say thank you.
First of all, I just want to say thank you.
Because if you weren't here, there will be only people. Tourists in the buildings. But they wouldn't care about what was happening in Istanbul right now. Your being here is just giving hope. For everyone. As human. In the world, we are all connected.
We are not separate.
We are not separate.
We might be American.
We might be American.
We might be Turkish.
We might be Turkish.
We might be French.
We might be French.
We might be Canadian.
We might be Canadian.
We are the people.
We are the people.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, you don't have to mic check me unless you really want to. I'm just going to talk really loud. Is that okay?
Go for it.
It really upsets me that the majority of Americans are oblivious to the fact that 1 out of 5 kids in this country are living in poverty. You want to know why we occupy Wall Street? One of the most pressing reasons to me is there are people who are going hungry in the richest country in the world. Tonight, I have a bed to sleep in, I have good food to eat, I have a job. I am grateful about those things, but the people on Wall Street have created an environment which makes separation and poverty possible. It is a decision that they have made. It is not a naturally occurring phenomenon. They are breaking up families. They are hurting old people. They are hurting young people, and they are basically dismissing a generation. And I hope the message comes out that we must fight inequality and we must question capitalism. It is pathological and it is killing people and it is toxic, and we have a better way. That's all. Not angry anymore.
All right. Who's up?
So here's your chance to speak and to be heard.
This is the homecoming of Occupy Wall Street. This is June 1st, 2013. And I'm Bud.
Electromagnetic radiation conference.
It is a little known.
It is a little